Now, Wagner units are on the fringes, on the west of the city. So Ukraine has all but lost it. You have prominent Ukrainian journalists coming out and say, look, it's over. We're going to give up Soledar. And the point is, if they give up Soledar, the road to Kramatorsk and Slavyansk, two key cities in eastern Ukraine, that road will be open about the Ukrainian defense line. And that is from Bakhmut to Soledar and then on to the city of Seversk. It is all entirely a natural defensive line, which is why it has taken Russian forces so long to break through, and they're on the cusp now of breaking through. It's a natural defensive line because on the eastern side, throughout this geographic area, the ground, the geography is such that Soledar and Bakhmut and Seversk are above, so they're high up. And the ground gently slopes away. And the Russians have been forced to assault from the down up. And that is, in Soledar, in the case of Soledar, that has been almost exclusively the Wagner group. In Bakhmut, they are also incredibly active. And I was there. I was in Klinavoye, in Vladimirovka, which is the outskirts, basically just beyond Soledar. And that is as far as we were able to get, because the situation is such that Ukraine would just roll tanks out and shoot, because it could see everything down below, and shoot at anything that moved. And you had small groups of Wagner, 8, 9 people, assault troops, basically making a dash 100 meters, finding a crater somewhere and hunkering down. They could be there for a day, for 2 days without any supplies, just hunkered down up front, so close up with Ukrainian troops, and it'd just be a meat grinder. They'd take one crater, then the next. They'd find
you say Ukrainian troops, you talk about a meat grinder. You've spent so much time down there. You've been down there for nearly 7 months, Murad. Is it all Ukrainians that Russians are fighting down there?
No, it isn't. It isn't. It used to be, but lately in Kremenaya, for example, which is just north of Seversk, there are entire sectors of the front line. The troops there, they'd give us the radio, captured radios, trophy radios, captured from enemy forces. And we'd listen, and they'd have all sorts of buttons, so pre-coded encrypted radio. You'd click on one channel and you'd only hear German speech.
You'd only hear German speech?
You'd click on another and you'd only hear Polish speech, and Polish speech was predominant. In entire sectors of the front line, there would only be Polish speech. There weren't any Ukrainians that we knew of or that the troops knew of on the other side. Ukraine's losses in Soledar and Bakhmut have been, they've been catastrophic. They've been, Ukraine admits so itself. President Zelensky has come out time and time again and said it is hell on earth what is happening there. But to give credit where credit is due, the Wagner group has proved to be a formidable force, an absolutely formidable force. The strategy and the tactics that they use are designed to and have succeeded in depleting the best of Ukraine's units. And we're talking here special forces, we're talking well-prepared mercenaries, or foreign forces that have arrived to help Ukraine. We're talking about Polish regulars, which is what they are, regulars on leave, sent in entire units, detachments, all severely depleted on the Soledar and on the Bakhmut line, which has caused Ukraine to pull units out of other areas, such as up north near Kremenaya, Svatova, and throw them into the meat grinder that is Soledar. But yesterday in Soledar, we had fighting in the center of the city, around the mayor's office, the city administration.
Russia is fighting the best of the West right here. These soldiers, these mercenaries, they're getting the latest technology from NATO and from America and from England as well. And yet it's not going in their favor right now. Let's bring this back to the Russian side here. Sergei Shoigu, the Russian defense minister, has announced reforms to military operations in Ukraine and Syria.
Taking into account our experience in the special military operation, the Supreme Commander-in-Chief has set a number of tasks for us. The main one is to take measures for the qualitative renewal of the armed forces and increase their combat capabilities. We must constantly analyze and systematize the experience and actions of our groups in Ukraine and Syria.
The issue here is that, yes, Russia is saying that we've we've amassed a huge amount of experience. We've seen what works, what doesn't, and we're not only talking about military vehicles and howitzers and mortars and helicopters and fire control systems, radios. We're also talking about tactics. You know, in the future, in this mass modern war, what Russia needs to focus on, what we need less of, what we need more of, and all of this is coming together to define Russia's army, Russia's military going into the future.